Hey, this is Adam from Archery Country. Today we're going to be doing a bow build for you. This here is my personal bow that I'll be using for hunting. This is a Bowtech Revolt XL. Personally, I'm really excited. This is actually my first year shooting a Bowtech. The reason I went with the Bowtech Revolt XL is I have a 31-inch draw length, and they never had anything with the binary overdrive system that had that draw length specification. This year, this model will actually go to 33 inches of draw length. IBO speed's about 358 at that 33 inches, so plenty fast enough for me. Brace height, really important thing for me. This one's at 6.6 inches, nice and forgiving. And again, it has that binary overdrive system, which to me is one of the most advanced cam systems out there. So when it comes to doing tuning, especially with broadhead tuning, like for this hunting bow, it's gonna be super easy. All you need is an Allen wrench to walk those cams side to side. Bow's 4.5 pounds. I'm not too hung up about weight, but it's definitely not super heavy. And it draws really smooth. I really like the cam system that they have on here. Just a really nice, easy rollover cam. It has the comfort and performance setting, and so we'll be kind of playing around with that. I think I'm gonna do performance, just getting a little bit more speed. This one here set up at 70 pounds. I'm gonna keep it at that. And we're gonna show you from basically pulling out of the box like this. We just cut the tags off of it, and then we're gonna go set it up, shoot it on the range, chrono, paper tune, and you guys get to see this as we set it up. So super excited. So now I'm gonna just show you kind of the accessories I'm gonna put on that Revolt XL. Personally, I invest in good accessories. I can transfer them over bow to bow. Starts with the release. This here is a Stand Perfects. This is just a thumb button release, super adjustable, sensitivity and all that. This is the one I use for all my tournaments, hunting, nothing changes there, so my shot execution is always the same. There's always a constant with my release. Wrist sling, this is a rock solid wrist sling. Just for hunting, it's nice to have that way. You got a nice relaxed grip on that bow. The bow's always with you in case something would happen to slip. Bars, I run the 365 Archery, the micro DVS bars. This one here is actually my offset bar, so this is gonna go on the left side of that bow. I always shoot with an offset bar just because torque-free shot really helps steady that sight picture down. This one here is gonna be a 10-inch bar, and then on it, I actually have the knurled weights. These are 2 ounces a piece. The weights, I start out kind of with this same weight configuration, and I'll change that as we go along and just see what holds the best. This one here has the offset bracket, 365 offset bracket. That way I can change the pitch of this bar up and down, left and right, just to get that perfect hold. And then for a front bar, I do a lot of target archery. A lot of people might look at this and say, boy, that's really big. This here's a 15-inch bar. Doesn't bother me one bit. With a 31-inch draw, 70 pounds, you need some more front weight, you need to get it away from your hand, just get that leverage. And then I also have a 365. This is gonna be a 10-degree down bar or disconnect bracket. Just kind of give that pendulum motion. Just that way the weight is gonna be below your hand a little bit more. And again, I usually play with the weight on that one as well. As I get to shooting the bow, getting more familiar with it, seeing what needs to happen with my sight picture, just become more accurate. For a sight, I've been running this BlackGold. This here is a 3-pin, kind of like a driver setup where set 20, 30, 40. The 40-yard pin on this one is actually a 10 thousandths. It's a custom build, so that way at farther distances, it's not covering up so much of what I intend to shoot at. This one here actually is the wing truss, and so I can actually loosen that up, slide that bracket, depending on how it looks and how it lines up with my peep sight, just to make sure everything's kind of lined up and I don't have a bunch of gap around my sight housing. First, second, third axis, we'll go over that a little bit later, but that can all be adjusted on this one. This is the pro sight, so we can micro adjust those pins, just little tiny increments at a time, just for a little bit more precision. For a rest, I'm a big fan of the limb-driven Hamskea rest. This here's a Trinity. This is gonna be their hunter style setup, a little bit wider blade on there, covered in felt for just making it nice and quiet, but super solid rest, very well constructed rest. And then for a quiver, I run the Tight Spot. This is gonna be their pivot, so it's a 2-piece, mounted on the bow, but nice thing about the Tight Spots, really close compact to the bow, And then also you get your connection points farther apart, makes it nice and quiet. And then you have adjustable arrow grippers on there as well, depending on what size arrow you might shoot. And then for an arrow, we'll go into a little bit more about the specs, but it's going to be a Victory VAP SS 300 spine. I just do a 3 fletch, 2 3/4 vein on there. So I showed you all my accessories. Now it's time to put everything together. I'm going to start with my rest. Again, this is the Hamskea Trinity. This is set up as the Hunter version. The Hunter version versus the Target, it's going to have a little bit wider blade on there for bringing that arrow up, and it's not going to be so prone to maybe falling off. It's also going to have this upper arm just to keep the arrow contained on the draw. Really, there's no way that that arrow is going to come out of there if you turn that bow either direction. What I like about this rest and why I'm such a big fan of it, one, it's limb driven. I think they're super stable, accurate rest. The Hamskea brand's a very well put together, constructed model. The Trinity, really overbuilt, super strong rest, and then that's the last thing I want to break is my rest. So now I have the rest, just put it on there. I'm gonna actually install the sight now. A couple different mounting options here. I'm actually gonna probably put mine in this most forward set of taps. And then to find the right distance, I'm actually gonna worry about that a little bit later. Once I get my peep sight installed and I do some shooting, I'll worry about the distance to and from that peep. At this time, I just wanna make sure it's on the bow. Next, I'm gonna put on my quick connects for my stabilizer. I'm gonna start by doing my front quick connect. That one there is actually gonna hold my sling in place as well. And again, this is that 10-degree 365 down bracket. With that 10-degree down, you just wanna make sure that that's straight. And then I'm gonna put my front bar on. Again, this is the 365, the micro DBS. These are really nice bar. Really lightweight carbon design, but it's strong, really stiff. That way it's not gonna add to vibration. And then adjustable weight system, so that way you can really get that hold fine tuned, because everybody's gonna need a little bit different weight. And again, the distance or the 15-inch bar, I like longer bars. You get more leverage, especially with the longer draw. I just really like the way that these point and feel. That's just gonna drop right in there. And just snug that up. So here you can see that downward angle that quick connect gives me. So now we got our front bar on. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put my back bar on. These Bowtechs, they come with these orbit dampeners. They're on there just to reduce the vibration that's produced by a bow. This one here, I'm gonna actually move so that way I can put my sidebar bracket in this hole. Just take an Allen wrench, spin those off. It means that they have one right here. I'm probably gonna put it on the top of the bow. There we go. Put that on there, make sure that's tight. And then this back bar bracket, I'm a right-handed archer, of course, and so I'm gonna put it on my left side. That's the nice thing about this 365 bracket is I can actually change the angle from side to side, how close or how far away from the bow it is, and then also the up and down position of the weight. So with my offset bracket, in terms of up and down, where I'm putting that rear weight, I'm just gonna start parallel with the earth. Again, that's just a starting point. Once I get more time behind the bow, I'll worry about moving that. Perfect. So now we got all of our accessories on. Now we're gonna start doing some of the fine tuning, setting up the rest. What I like to do when I'm setting up this rest is I want to measure my center shot and then get that set up appropriately. Now when we go through the tuning, I'm not going to be moving my rest left and right at all. I'm going to be doing all that with the overdrive system, moving the string more side to side. And I want to get it close as possible. So now at this point, I can loosen this up. And as I said before, I'm actually going to put this bow onto the performance setting. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the D-loop on. Once we get the D-loop put on, I'm gonna take it over to the draw board, make sure that both cams are in sync, and then after that, it'll be time to paper tune. So now I'm gonna put this bow into this draw board, wind it back, and I'm just looking to make sure that each one of these draw stops and the cams are working in unison and they're coming around at the exact same time. Looks like it's already in time right out of the box. So I'm not going to do any adjustments to these cables whatsoever. So now I'm going to shoot this through the paper. So it looks like we got pretty good right tear. Shot felt good. And so on these, on this cam system, they have a lock screw and then the actual axle rotator adjustment to move that cam side to side. And now, again, we want to move that to the right. There we go. That really responded. That's pretty incredible. That's the cool thing about this cam system, and that's why I switched to shooting a Bowtech for hunting this year, is because of that response and in that cam system. That's pretty incredible without having to shim, move any type of spacers. It's really kind of quick, easy, immediate tuning. So that one there, still getting just a slight knock high. So we just put it on the drawboard again, just to kind of reconfirm, drew it back, and that top cam was just ever so slightly advanced. And that probably would result in that slight tear like that. So we put it on the press, put a half twist into that cable there. And so we're just gonna shoot it through paper again and see if that was the remedy. Alright, so still just a little knock high. Now I'm going to move that rest a little bit more with confidence, knowing that I'm not chasing something that the timing might have been an issue with. There, I think we got something right there. That's exactly what we're looking for. Really happy with how that came together. And it just really makes me feel good going to this system, because that's really cool to be able to do not only in the shop but at home. All right, so now we got everything tuned, set up. Want to get some real numbers, want to know about arrow speed. This bow here, 31-inch draw, 71 pounds, we tested it. Arrow, it's a VAP SS 300 spine. This is the elite tolerance, to be the straightest 0.001 tolerance. This one here, I actually have tack, 2.75 driver vanes on there, and I also have a rock solid white wrap. I really like the white on white. It looks good, but then also like trying to read blood makes it really easy. Total arrow weight here is going to be about 470. That has a 50 grain outsert on that with a 100 grain tip. Really tough arrow. It's got the stainless steel woven into it, so probably a little bit heavier arrow, but just because of draw length, and that's what it came out to be. You probably have noticed by now, if you're familiar with Archery Country, we're not actually in any one of our stores. That's why we got a chrono on a stool here. We're actually at the location we call the shed. It's basically a man cave, like dream shed. We were just making this work to do these videos that we don't have to worry about customers coming in and out of the door, and just, makes it nice and quiet that way. .287. I'm going to shoot it a couple times because I'm actually going to be making a sight tape, and that's going to be a speed correlated sight tape. And so I just want to take an average here. In a good workout, 288. 289. So about 288, that's the speed tape I'm going to put on there. I'm not going to shoot it anymore. The eyes are kind of burning already. So now we have this Revolt XL all set up, ready to go. We got 9 months until hunting season comes around to get familiar with it. I think it's going to be a good relationship, I can tell you that right now. Really pumped about it. I'm happy with the speed I got out of it, how it tuned, and how it all kind of came together. Plus it looks pretty cool once it's all set up. The way we set up this bow today is going to be pretty much the exact same way we're going to set up a customer's bow that comes into the shop. If they have something specific they want us to do to it, we definitely can. Different accessories, sky's the limit when it comes to that, but we're going to make sure that it's tuned, and we make sure that we go through all the speed, the draw boards, every single step. Nothing gets overlooked at Archery Country. We want to make sure that you have success with your equipment, just like we would with ours. The 3 locations all have these bows to try out. Look forward in the future for more employee bow builds. It's not going to be just Bowtech's, it's going to be all the bow brands. Make sure to comment below. Make sure to say what you liked, what you didn't like, what you want to see in the future, what your impressions were. And like I said, if you ever want to try them out, come on in. We got 3 locations and we're all here really enthused to help you out. But thanks for your time.